The cold never bothered anymore. After 3 years on 7, she had learned to love the ice, the darkness, and the silence. This frozen moon at the edge of known space had become her home. More importantly, it had become her hiding place. She pulled her thick jacket and walked through the underground docks. Heavy cargo containers moved on chains above her head. Workers shouted orders in 5 different languages. Steam rose from heating vents in the floor. It was ugly. It was loud. It was perfect. Nobody looked twice at a cargo handler. Nobody asked questions about the woman who moved boxes for 12 hours a day. She was just another worker with a fake name and tired eyes. But at night, when the docks went quiet, became someone else. She walked through the worker housing blocks, her medical bag hidden under her coat. A child with a fever, an old man with a cough that would not stop, a woman who had burned her hands on a faulty heating unit, treated them all. She asked for nothing. She took nothing. They called her the ghost doctor. They did not know her real name. They did not know that 3 years ago she had been lieutenant of the United Earth Expeditionary Forces, combat medic, decorated, trusted. They did not know why she ran. On the night everything changed was treating a worker named Bora. The young woman had cut her arm on a broken piece of metal. The wound was deep but clean. Stitched it with steady hands while Bora talked about her family back on Earth. "You have good hands," Bora said. "Where did you learn?" "A long time ago," said, "in a different life." Her communicator buzzed against her hip. She ignored it. It buzzed again and again. Finished the last stitch. She covered the wound and gave Bora instructions for care. Then she stepped outside into the frozen corridor and checked the device. The message was coded, old military encryption. She should not have been able to read it, but some things you never forget. The words burned into her eyes. Hunter Team DISBATCHED. Target former LTYUNA. ETA 12 hours. Authorization lethal force permitted. Her hands did not shake. Her heart did not race. She had known this day would come. 3 years of peace was more than she had expected. Hunter teams were legends in the military. 6 elite soldiers, the best trackers, fighters, and killers in human space. They had a perfect record, every target captured or eliminated, no exceptions. Had 12 hours to become the first exception. She walked back to her small room in the worker housing. It was barely large enough for a bed and a table. She had no decorations, no personal items, nothing that could not be left behind in seconds. From under her bed, she pulled out a bag she had packed 3 years ago. Inside, medical supplies, emergency rations, a knife, climbing gear, and a small device that could disrupt electronic signals. No guns. She had promised herself she would never carry a weapon made for killing. She sat on the bed and closed her eyes. Memories came whether she wanted them or not. Prime, the rebel world. She remembered standing on the bridge of the Hammer of Justice, watching the planet turn below them. Beautiful, green and blue, 8 million people living their lives. The order came through the speakers. General voice, calm and official. Begin orbital cleansing, all ground targets. 8 million people. Farmers, teachers, children, families eating dinner, lovers watching the sunset, all of them labeled as rebels, all of them sentenced to death by fire from the sky. Had looked at her commanding officer. "Sir, there are civilian population centers, hospitals, schools." "The order stands, Lieutenant." "Sir, this is." "The order stands." Around her, soldiers moved to their positions. Targeting computers came online. Weapon systems powered up. In minutes, 8 million lives would end. Walked off the bridge. She walked to the escape pods. She launched herself into the black and never looked back. She heard later that Prime burned for 3 days. She heard that the tribunal called it a necessary action. She heard that her name was added to the deserter list with a note, capture or eliminate. 3 years. She had 3 years of helping people, one patient at a time. 3 years of trying to balance the scales that could never be balanced. Now the hunters were coming. Opened her eyes. The small room looked the same. The cold pressed against the walls. Somewhere above, the stars turned in their endless dance. She could run, take a cargo ship, disappear again, but hunter teams did not stop. They would find her next hiding place, and the one after that, and the one after that. Running only delayed the end. Or she could do something different. The mines beneath Seven stretched for hundreds of kilometers. Old tunnels, abandoned shafts, a maze of darkness where she had spent 3 years exploring. She knew every turn, every shadow, every place where the ceiling was weak and the ground was unstable. The hunters would come expecting a scared medic, a woman who healed instead of harmed. They would expect her to hide, to cry, to beg. They did not know what frontier children learned to survive. Stood up, she put on her warmest clothes. She checked her bag one more time. Then she walked to the entrance of the old mines. The darkness welcomed her like an old friend. 12 hours, 6 hunters, one woman who had chosen mercy over murder. Let them come. The ship Judgment's edge dropped out of hyperspace like a knife cutting through silk. It was a hunter vessel, built for one purpose, to find people who did not want to be found. Inside, 6 soldiers prepared for what they believed would be a simple mission. Commander stood at the center of the briefing room. He was 43 years old, tall, strong. His face was hard from years of hunting the worst criminals in human space. In 20 years, he had never failed to bring back a target. Listen carefully, he said. His voice was deep and steady. Our target is former lieutenant, combat medic, deserted during the Prime operation 3 years ago, currently hiding on 7. He pressed a button. His face appeared on the screen. Young, soft features, eyes that looked kind. Do not be fooled by appearances, continued. She survived 3 years without capture. She is smart, but she is still just a medic. She heals people, she does not fight. Lieutenant studied the image. She was the team's infiltration specialist, trained to get into places others could not. Something about S's eyes bothered her. They were not the eyes of a scared woman. They were calm, patient. What about her background? Asked. Waved his hand. Born on a frontier colony, lost her family in alien attacks when she was young, joined the military at 18, rose quickly. Good record until she ran. Frontier colony, repeated quietly. Frontier children were different. They grew up fighting for survival before they could walk. But nobody else seemed concerned. Sergeant checked his heavy rifle. He was the team's muscle, a giant man who could carry weapons that needed 2 normal soldiers to lift. 1 medic against 6 of us. This will be over before dinner. Corporal laughed from her station. She was the signals expert, able to hack any system and track any communication. Her fingers danced over her screens. I already have her location narrowed to the underground docks. She is using a fake identity, works as a cargo handler. Specialist cracked his knuckles. Close quarters combat was his specialty. He had killed men with his bare hands. I say we go in fast and hard. Grab her before she knows we are there. Private said nothing. She was the youngest, only 22. The team's sniper. She watched S's image on the screen and wondered what could make a decorated medic throw away everything. Nodded with satisfaction. Standard approach. We land, spread out, locate, and capture. If she resists, lethal force is authorized. Questions? There were none. The Judgment's edge descended through Seven's thin atmosphere. Ice clouds parted around its hull. The surface appeared below, endless white, broken only by the dark mouths of mining entrances. They landed at the main port. Security officers bowed to them. Nobody questioned a hunter team. Nobody dared. Split his team into pairs. He would go with 3 directions, 3 paths through the underground complex. Could not escape all of them. Check in every 30 minutes, ordered. First team to locate her calls the others. We end this tonight. They moved into the tunnels. The underground docks were a maze of corridors, storage rooms, and worker housing. Steam pipes lined the ceilings. Lights flickered in the cold air. Workers moved past without meeting their eyes. Walked beside through a corridor near the old mining section. Her rifle was ready. Her eyes moved constantly, checking shadows and corners. "Something feels wrong," she said softly. Laughed. "You are nervous. First real hunt. It is normal." No, stopped walking. "It is too quiet here. The workers, they avoid this area. Why?" Looked around. She was right. This section was empty. The lights were dimmer. The air tasted different, old and stale. "Maybe she already ran," he said. A soft sound came from behind them, like a whisper, like cloth moving against stone. Spun around. Her scope found nothing but empty corridor. Wind said, "Old vents, come on." They kept walking. The corridor led to a junction. Left went deeper into the mines. Right went back toward the docks. Ahead, stairs descended into darkness. Felt eyes on her back. She had survived dozens of missions by trusting her instincts. Right now, her instincts were screaming. "I am checking the upper level," she said. "Better sight lines." Nodded. "I will take the stairs. Stay on comms." They separated. Climbed a maintenance ladder to a platform overlooking the junction. Good position. She could see all three directions. She settled into her sniper stance and waited. Minutes passed, silence. Then fog. It came from nowhere. Thin white mist rolling along the floor. It made no sense. The ventilation should clear any fog instantly, unless someone had changed the airflow, unless someone wanted the fog. Reached for her communicator. "I have visual interference, fog in my sector, possible." Something pressed against her neck, cold metal, a needle. She tried to turn. Her body would not obey. The world became soft and distant. A voice spoke near her ear, gentle, almost sad. "Sleep now, I am sorry, this will not hurt." His last thought before darkness took her was simple: frontier children. Her communicator broadcast one word before it went silent: fog. When reached her position 20 minutes later, he found only her rifle. It was balanced perfectly on a rock. The scope was still warm from her eye. No body, no blood, no footprints in the frost that had formed on the platform. Just gone. His hands shook as he called Commander. "Sir, we have a problem, is missing." In the darkness of the mines, moved like a ghost. On her back, she carried the unconscious sniper to a safe place. The young woman's wound from the needle was already bandaged. One down, 5 to go. The real hunt had begun. Commander stared at his rifle like it was a puzzle he could not solve. 20 years of hunting. Dozens of targets. Not once had he lost a team member in the first hour. "She cannot have gone far," he said. "Is trained, strong. How did one medic take her?" Lieutenant picked up the rifle carefully. The weapon was not damaged. It had been placed here with care, almost with respect. "Maybe we are thinking about this wrong," said quietly. "What do you mean?" "The file says she is a healer, but she grew up on the frontier. Those colonies had no military, no police. Children learned to hunt their own food. They learned to set traps. They learned to survive against things that wanted to kill them." Met's eyes. "We came here thinking we were the hunters." "We are the hunters," growled. "One woman does not change that. Regroup. Everyone now." The remaining team gathered in a maintenance bay near the mine entrance. Looked at each of them. Calm as always. Angry and gripping his rifle. Nervous but focused on her tracking equipment. Still shaken from finding his position empty. "She has to be in the old mines," said. "No other place to hide. But the tunnels go on for hundreds of kilometers, without better tracking data." "Then we go in and search every meter," interrupted. "She cannot hide forever." They descended into the darkness. The old mines were cold and dead. Mining operations had stopped decades ago when the valuable minerals ran out. Now only darkness remained. Their flashlights cut weak beams through the black. Took the lead with his heavy rifle. The tunnels were narrow, forcing him to turn sideways in some places. Ice had formed on the walls. Their breath made clouds in the frozen air. They found 2 hours into the search. She was lying on a flat rock in a small cave, unconscious but breathing. Her wounds were bandaged with clean white cloth. An emergency blanket covered her body to keep her warm. Beside her lay a note written on paper. Grabbed the note and read it aloud. She will wake in 6 hours. Leave and you all go home. Exploded with anger. She thinks she can give us orders. I will find her and... Quiet said, his voice was ice. Check, make sure this is not a trap. Examine the young sniper. Pulse is strong, breathing normal. She has been sedated with something safe. No lasting damage. She paused. Commander, whoever did this knew exactly what they were doing, medical precision. She is a combat medic, said. Of course she knows medicine. No, you do not understand. Looked up. The sedative dose, the bandaging, the position to keep airways clear. This is not just field medicine. This is expert-level care. She could have killed easily. Instead, she made sure she would be comfortable. Crushed the note in his fist. We do not negotiate with deserters. Stay with everyone else, we continue. They went deeper. The tunnels twisted and split like veins in the body of the moon. Kept them moving fast. Too fast. Wanted to warn him that speed was dangerous in unknown territory, but his pride would not let him listen. His voice crackled over the radio. Commander, I heard something. Movement in the tunnel behind me. I am going to... Silence. Report. Nothing. Cursed and turned back. 20 minutes later they found at the bottom of a concealed pit. The fall had broken his leg. But when they reached him, the leg was already splinted with professional care. A blanket covered him. Water and food sat within arm's reach. Another note, he will need surgery when you return to your ship. I am sorry for the pain. Please leave. Roared and fired his rifle into the darkness. The shots echoed through the tunnels for long seconds. Nothing answered. She is playing with us, he shouted, like we are toys. Control yourself, commanded, but his own hands were shaking now, not from fear, from anger, from the shame of being outmaneuvered by a woman he had dismissed as soft. They left and pressed on, only 4 now, end. The tunnels grew colder, ice covered everything. Their equipment began to fail in the freezing air. Tracking screens flickered and died. Magnetic interference, she said. These rocks are full of iron. Our technology is useless down here. They were blind. His rifle jammed next. A small piece of ice had worked its way into the firing mechanism. While he tried to clear it, the tunnel suddenly filled with that strange fog again. When it cleared, was gone. They found him an hour later, locked inside an old storage room. The door had been sealed from outside. Inside, sat with his rifle in his lap, the jam cleared. A heating unit glowed in the corner. Emergency rations were stacked beside him. A note on the door. The heater has 12 hours of fuel. Someone will find you. Please stop hunting me. Was breathing hard now. 3 soldiers down. None dead, all cared for like patients in a hospital. Touched his arm. Commander, maybe we should listen. She does not want to hurt us. She keeps proving that if we just... No, eyes were wild. I have never failed a mission. I will not start now. He pushed forward into the darkness. Followed, but noticed her steps were slower now. The corporal was questioning. Good. Someone needed to. They walked for another hour. Then's communicator beeped. She had managed to get a signal. She followed it eagerly, sure it would lead to their target. It led to a chair. Woke up tied to that chair, but not tightly. She could work free within minutes if she tried. An IV drip fed fluid into her arm. She had not even known she was dehydrated. Stood in front of her, face hidden in shadow. Y asked, "Why not just kill us?" His voice was soft, tired, because killing is easy, living with killing is hard. I learned that on Prime. She checked the IV and adjusted the flow. "You will feel better soon. Please tell your commander to go home. I do not want to hurt anyone." "He will not stop." "I know," sighed. It was the saddest sound it ever heard. "That is what I am afraid of." Then she disappeared into the dark, leaving alone with her thoughts and the slow drip of medicine into her veins. Only and remained. And the night was far from over. Stood alone in the darkness. His flashlight was dying. His communicator could not reach anyone. 4 of his soldiers were scattered through the mines, alive but defeated. Only remained at his side, and even she was looking at him differently now. "We should fall back," said. "Regroup on the ship, plan a new approach." "No," his voice cracked. "She is one woman, one. I will not let her make a fool of me." Studied him carefully. She had served under for 5 years. She had seen him capture dangerous criminals, fight alien threats, survive impossible odds. But she had never seen him like this. His pride was eating him alive. "This is not about the mission anymore," she said quietly. "This is about you." Turned on her. "Be careful, Lieutenant." "Or what? You will add me to the list of failures tonight." Stepped closer. "She beat us, accept it. She beat 6 of the best soldiers in human space without killing anyone, without even seriously hurting anyone. Do you understand what that means?" "It means she got lucky. It means she is better than us." His hand moved toward his sidearm, did not flinch. For a long moment they stared at each other, then pulled out a different device. A beacon, emergency military frequency. He pressed the activation button. His blood went cold. "What did you just do?" "Called for orbital support. If I cannot capture her, I will bury her. Our team is still down here. They are all in these tunnels." His face was stone. "Acceptable losses." Step back. In that moment she understood something terrible. Had deserted because she refused to kill innocents. Was ready to kill his own soldiers to protect his pride. Who was the real monster here? A voice echoed through the tunnel. Female, calm, close. "Your beacon will take 20 minutes to reach orbit. Another 5 for the weapons to charge. Then 3 minutes for the strike." Stepped out of the shadows. She wore simple dark clothes. No weapons visible. Her hands were empty. "That gives us 28 minutes. Drew his pistol. "Do not move." Did not seem afraid. "Your soldiers are safe. I placed them in areas that will survive the strike, but you two are directly below the target zone." She tilted her head. "Did you think about that when you called the fire?" His hand shook. He had not thought about it. He had been so focused on destroying her that he forgot he would be destroyed too. "Give me the command codes," said. "Let me cancel the strike, then we can talk. I do not negotiate with traitors." Sighed. "I am not a traitor. I refuse to murder 8 million people. Children, Commander, families, people who had done nothing wrong except live on the wrong planet." She took a step forward. "You have read my file. You know I was decorated, respected. I threw away everything because I could not watch innocent people burn. Does that sound like a traitor to you?" "You broke your oath." "My oath was to protect humanity, all of humanity, not just the parts the generals approved of." Fired, the shot went wide. Had moved the moment his finger tightened. Frontier reflexes. She closed the distance between them in 3 steps. The fight was short. Was trained for combat. Strong, fast, experienced. But knew the human body like he knew weapons. She knew where to hit to cause pain without damage. She knew which joints bent and which did not. She knew exactly how much force would disable without killing. 3 strikes. His right arm went numb. His left knee buckled. A pressure point in his neck made his vision blur. He fell to the cold stone floor. Took the beacon controller from his belt. Her fingers moved quickly over the interface. 16 minutes remaining. She entered override codes she had not used in 3 years. The system accepted them. Strike canceled, the device announced, standing down. Dropped the controller and stepped back. She was breathing hard. The fight had been closer than it looked, was strong. A few different choices and she would be the one on the ground. Stood frozen near the tunnel wall. Her weapon was holstered. She had made no move to help either of them. "Why?" gasped from the floor. "Why not just kill me? I tried to kill you. I tried to kill my own team." Knelt beside him. She checked his injuries with practiced hands. Nothing permanent. He would recover fully within weeks. "Because killing you proves nothing," she said. "Letting you live, that is the message. You came here with 6 soldiers and the authority to execute me on sight. You had weapons, training, experience, everything. And I stopped you without taking a single life." She looked into his eyes. "That is what humanity can be. That is what I chose when I walked off that ship over Prime. I chose mercy. I will always choose mercy." Had no answer. He lay on the cold floor and stared at the stone ceiling above him. Stood and looked at. The lieutenant had not moved. "You could have shot me," said. "While I was fighting him, why did you not?" Was silent for a long time. Then, "Because I think you might be right." Nodded slowly. "Your team is alive. The strike is canceled. You can carry him back to your ship and leave. No one else needs to be hurt tonight. And you will just disappear again. I will do what I have always done. Help the people who need it. Hide from the people who hunt me." Smiled, but it was sad. "Maybe one day that will not be necessary, but not today." She turned and walked into the darkness of the tunnels. Watched her go. Then she bent down, pulled his arm over her shoulder, and began the long walk back to the surface. Behind her, somewhere in the black depths of the moon, a woman who had chosen mercy over murder continued her quiet work. The hunt was over. But the story was just beginning. 2 days after the hunt ended, a military patrol ship arrived at 7. They came because the Judgment's Edge had stopped responding to communications. They came expecting to find wreckage, bodies, evidence of a battle lost. They found nothing of the sort. The Judgment's Edge orbited peacefully above the frozen moon. Its systems were functioning. Its beacon was active. But when the patrol team boarded, they found empty corridors and silent rooms. No crew, no bodies, no signs of struggle. The mystery deepened when they reached the surface. All 6 members of the hunter team were found in the main settlement, gathered in a medical bay. They were alive. Their injuries had been treated. They had enough supplies to last weeks. Their weapons were present but disabled, firing pins removed with surgical precision. Commander refused to speak. He sat in a corner and stared at nothing. Something inside him had broken during those long hours in the mines. The others told fragments of the story. Private described being taken by a ghost who apologized for the needle. Specialist talked about waking up with his leg already splinted. Sergeant admitted being locked in a room that was warmer and safer than anywhere else in the mines. Corporal showed them the IV mark on her arm and explained that her captor had treated her dehydration before she even knew she had it. Lieutenant gave the most complete account. She told them about the tunnels, the fog, the traps that caught but did not kill. She told them about its orbital strike and how it canceled it with 4 minutes to spare. "She could have let us die," said. "The commander called fire on his own team and she saved us anyway, all of us, even him." The patrol commander did not know what to make of this report. A single deserter defeating an entire hunter team was impossible. A deserter doing it without killing anyone was unthinkable. Then they found the recording. Someone had uploaded a file to the Judgment's Edge beacon. It was broadcasting on an open channel, available to anyone with a receiver. The file contains combat recorder footage from the entire hunt. The galaxy watched. They saw 6 elite soldiers descend with confidence and weapons. They saw them fall one by one to traps and tricks that never drew blood. They saw carry unconscious enemies to safe places and tend their wounds. They saw her face in the reactor chamber and defeat him with 3 precise strikes. They saw her cancel the orbital strike that would have killed everyone. The recording ended with looking directly into the camera she had taken from Sgir. Her face was tired but calm. Her voice was steady. My name is, 3 years ago I was ordered to help destroy 8 million innocent people. I refused. I ran. They called me a deserter and a traitor. They sent hunters to capture or kill me. She paused. The silence was heavy. Those hunters are all alive because I chose mercy. Every one of them had the chance to kill me. I had many chances to kill them. No one died. No one had to die. She took a breath. I am not your enemy. I never was. I refused to kill innocents and you sent killers after me. They are all alive because I am not what you trained me to be. I am what humanity was supposed to be. If you send more, I will do the same. And the galaxy will watch again. This is not a threat. It is a promise. We can be better than this. The recording ended. Within hours, the transmission had spread to every human colony. Within days, alien networks were sharing it with translations in 100 languages. The story of the medic who defeated hunters with mercy became legend. The military tribunal faced questions they could not answer. Why had they ordered the death of 8 million people? Why had they hunted a woman whose only crime was refusing to participate in massacre? Why had their elite team been defeated by a healer? Commander resigned before they could ask him anything. He disappeared from public life entirely. Some say he went to a remote colony to be alone with his shame. Others say he spends his days in a dark room, replaying the moment when a woman he had dismissed as soft proved she was stronger than him in every way that mattered. The Hunter program was quietly dissolved 3 months later. Officials said it was a budget decision. Everyone knew the truth. The program had become a symbol of everything wrong with military justice. No one wanted to be associated with it anymore. Lieutenant also disappeared from service records around the same time. Officially, she took extended leave. Unofficially, witnesses reported seeing her on a frontier world far from Earth space. She was working in a free clinic. Beside her was a woman who matched the description. When asked about this, his former colleagues said nothing. Some things were better left as mysteries. The Judgment's Edge was decommissioned and stripped for parts, but its beacon was left in orbit around 7. No one could explain exactly why, but it felt wrong to remove it. Pilots began calling it the Mercy Marker. Ships passing through the system would adjust their course just to see it, a small light blinking in the darkness, a reminder. On the surface below, life continued. Workers moved cargo. Children played in the underground parks. The ghost doctor still made her rounds, though now she had help. And somewhere in the black between stars, the story spread. Alien species who had feared humanity for its violence began to wonder. Perhaps humans were not just dangerous. Perhaps they could also be kind. The galaxy had learned something important. Humans are not frightening because they can destroy. Every species can destroy. Humans are frightening because they can choose not to destroy and still win. That was the real message of the empty beacon. Not victory through force, victory through mercy. And one woman had taught them all. She never claimed to be a hero. She never asked for fame or forgiveness. She simply continued her work, healing those who needed it, hiding when necessary, choosing life over death every single day. They sent hunters after her. She sent them home. And her beacon, real or symbolic, would keep orbiting long after everyone forgot her name. A light in the darkness, a promise that humanity could be better. It already was.